Places, please. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kuyati Nora, your favorite virtual castmate, and in today's video I'm going to be sharing 10 things that Berklee taught your girl. But before we hop into the video, if you haven't done so already, make sure that you click the red subscribe button and the bell notification so that you know whenever I upload a video. Also add me on Instagram because that's where I really share how I am journeying to Broadway and also just sharing other stuff about me. But without further ado, let's hop into the video. First things first, one of the first things that I can look back and say that Berklee taught me was how to create my own lane of innovation. I think that one of the benefits of being in a crowd of number ones is trying to figure out how you can end up being above the number one. So I guess like how to be 0.5 essentially, because yeah, you can follow the trends, but are you someone who's creating the trend by coming up with your own idea or finding a way to really recreate what's already been done, because haven't we already seen it all? Number two, making genuine connections with your friends. A lot of times when I hear conversations about networking, it's usually from a very cold calling place. When we were in orientation, they stated, look to your left and look to your right. Those are gonna be your connections into the industry that you wanna work in. And I find that I live by that today. A lot of the opportunities that I have had in my career thus far have been through my peers. And whether it be from Berklee, whether it be from my high school, I just think that idea of not overlooking the people beside you, because y'all are all working up together, right? And you don't want to burn bridges with anyone, period. But I think that idea of collaborating with those who you're with is a key piece of advice. Number three, keep your ears to the street. Always be informed of what's happening within your world. Are there new industry standards that you need to follow? For instance, for me, obviously I'm journeying to Broadway. At one point, headshots were in black and white. Now they're in color. For auditions, let's say, I not only have to have musical theater songs in my audition book, but I have to have pop songs or non-musical theater songs in my book. Number four, always push your musical boundaries. Sometimes we can be afraid of making mistakes because we don't want to sound as if we're imperfect or we don't sound like some music guru of the genre that we're exploring. However, a lot of the things that we revere came from mistakes that naturally happened that we enjoyed. So why not push the boundaries? Why not be open to the idea of making a mistake so that you can discover something new? Number five, as long as you know where do is, you can find all the other notes within the Western scales. Even though I had experience with dictation in high school, for me it was like, oh my gosh, I'm at Berklee, I'm at this number one institution. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to pass this class and I don't wanna fail out. When you really start studying your ability to hear and hone in on the concept of listening, with practice, of course, you'll get better and better and better to the point where you don't even think about it. Till this day, I use that in my studio with my students because I want them to know that they have the capacity to get to that expert level, in my opinion. Now, there's several levels of understanding solfege, but from that perspective, it just helps you to approach life from a can-do perspective as opposed to a can't. Number six, ear training and harmony will always live in you. Now that could be a good thing and a bad thing, because sometimes listening to music can be hard to do, especially when I just want to enjoy it and not necessarily enjoy it from the perspective of I'm analyzing it. Once you have this skill, you'll just find yourself wanting to dissect everything. And you learn how to, silence that noise of overly critiquing or trying to embed your knowledge for the first time. But just be sure to still find the love within the music without being, the Simon Cowell of the industry. Number seven, this, honestly, I should have put this one first. There is life past Singer Showcase. Now, for me personally, the only way that I was involved in Singer Showcase was singing backgrounds, and it was through singing backgrounds that I found that I had a niche for not only my voice type and how it blends with other singers, but the idea of actually singing without being the front woman, being able to tune out of that particular spot and learning how to observe the world around me, paying attention to the band, the MD, my other singers next to me. That is a skill. And throughout Berklee, one of my goals throughout that time was to actually do everything around being the main performer. I promise you, I cannot make this up. When is New York opening again? Also, on another note, if you are a vocalist at Berklee and you didn't make it into Singer Showcase, that's fine, right? Take that time to work on your artistry and your craft and working on the skill set that you want to have by the time you graduate. There's so much emphasis on it because, I mean, it is a big showcase at the school and you see some of Berklee's great singers. However, sometimes those singers don't really do much after they leave Berklee. I used to play around and be like, Berklee has their Billboard top 10 or like Berklee's top 10, and you will constantly see them, and it was like, when am I gonna get my chance? And ending the cycle of asking when Berklee is going to notice me, I made the decision to say, I'm going to notice myself and do what I want to do so that I can create my lane of accolades without depending upon Berklee's recognition. I got accepted already, so beyond that point, it's up to me to figure out what I want to do. Number 8, it is possible to have a sustainable lifestyle as a musician. One of the greatest pieces of knowledge that I have is knowing what my skill set is and knowing on top of that how to monetize it. The people who have actually gained sustainable success, meaning that their line of success is continual and it's not, you know, up and down, either I have everything or nothing, are the ones who found multiple ways of incorporating their musical gifts to sustain their lifestyle. Write down everything that you're good at. Write down everything that people have paid you for. And then write down what you love doing, and then write down things that you are open to learning. From those different lists, you can use your time in college to develop skills so that you can live out the life that you desire. Number 9, being on time and prepared is imperative for success. I've done so many gigs where people are showing up late, they don't know the music, and they're expecting to be paid, and I have docked their pay. And I think that at the bare minimum, when you have opportunities, it is good for you to know that whether the gig is paid or even unpaid, show up as professional as possible. You don't want to ruin an opportunity because you haven't worked on the character skills that are necessary in order for you to be successful in this business. Because word gets around. A lot of the gigs that are garnered within this industry come from word of mouth. And once you're working off of that referral basis, you literally will always have money in your pocket. But if you're someone who just thinks that your talent is enough for you to get opportunities regardless of how you act, then you're going to be sadly mistaken, because a lot of those people have lost opportunities and find themselves struggling because they didn't work on the professionalism side of their journey. Last but definitely not least, stay true to who you are. I have found that the more that I take the time to understand who I am and who I want to be, prevents me from having moments of jealousy and envy. I remember a specific time where I was not my best self because I was watching and observing everything around me, and I just felt like I was being overlooked for it, and I was slightly bitter because I'm like, why do I keep feeling like I'm fighting for opportunities and I'm being overlooked? I feel like I'm doing my best and yet it's just never good enough. And it cost me a friendship, and I feel like, you know, even though there were apologies exchanged and things like that, I never want to go through that experience again. But I know for a fact that it happened because I wasn't being true to who I am and focusing on myself and my purpose. But defining my purpose, being aware of that, and focusing on how I can propel that message is what has allowed me to be at peace. And I'm telling you, it feels so good. My time at Berklee was fabulous. I don't regret not a single thing, from the faculty to the students to the experience to the travel to the friendships that I've been able to make. I don't regret a single thing, and I am truly grateful for the experience that I had. Now, if you would like to see more videos about my experience at Berklee and how it's contributed to me as a professional actor as well as just a professional musician, drop your questions down below or like this video and I will be sure to get that to you. Thank you so much for joining me in another show, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.